the 80s, the building codes, the electrical codes, all in the 80s were very different than now.
Right.
Everyone's Inco electrician grandfather did the wiring, and you could power a...
I got a spool from the shop.
Exactly.
I'll bring it over after work.
Need a solid wood door with like bulletproof glass. Great, I got one in my basement.
Welcome to the TNT Real Estate Podcast, where we spark conversations that set you up for real estate success. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Tanya, and each week we bring you expert tips on navigating Northern Ontario's real estate market. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, we've got the tools to help you thrive.
Welcome back to the TNT Real Estate Podcast, and you might notice that this is not Tanya with me. This is somebody very special to us, and you might recognize her from last year. We were just talking. It was last summer that you were on last, but we have the astute pleasure of having Miss Courtney Marion on the podcast. So welcome.
Thank you. I guess I did a good job last time, and I'm welcome back. So that's an honor.
Well, I guess we didn't scare you off that much last time, so
No.
you feel comfortable to come back.
So much so I didn't even read your notes on what we're talking about today.
Perfect.
We're just gonna wing it.
Just wing it?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it already. So Courtney and I go way back to even before, actually probably before I was even born. So we had families that were both in real estate at the same time. Mm-hmm. Now we're the offspring of the families that were in real estate at the same time. And now we work in the same office. Mm-hmm. So it's just like two worlds colliding once again.
Yes.
So before the licenses, before the careers, before, we joined the same office, like what was real estate like, even like around the dinner table, having dinner, like, in real estate back then, there was no dinner table.
No.
So what was it like pre you actually being in that business?
It felt like it was 24 hours a day in my house. And a big part of that, and I don't know if your mother had a live pager, where it was about yay big. It looks like a vape now, I guess you would say. And it was a live pager, and it would go off, and a real live voice from Northern Communications would come on and tell you what your message was, or beep, and then it would come back on and tell you again. It was like a live radio. Yeah. That was the first pager.
And it was a legit person from...
It was a legit person.
Yeah,
it was a voice.
Okay.
It was a voice from Northern Communications, just over by the skating oval.
Yep.
So you would hear it. You could hear it from time to time. So it felt like it was always just, it would just pop up.
Yeah.
And then whenever my mom's clients were available, and they were shift workers from Inco, and there were 80,000 people employed by Inco at the time. Mm-hmm. And, who knows how many by Falconbridge, I don't know those stats. When they were done work, whatever time that was, they would either be showing up at the house and being brought into the little office, or we'd be going to their house and signing deals on the sides of roads, in parking lots.
Right.
It was constant.
Yeah.
And then when the first car phone came around, which was huge, it was in our car. It was this big, and the front seat of our car was dedicated to the phone. So you could.
That
go
is
anywhere.
Wild. Like it was that big that it had to be a full thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's funny. So I would say it's like a dinosaur. Mm-hmm. My first listing that I signed was on carbon copy. Sure. And that was only like 12 years ago, which it was still antiquated then. But the way I was trained was like, Kate, you're going to show up and you're going to have these 3 pages. Mm-hmm. You keep one, they keep one. Mm-hmm. And I was like at that time, I was like, okay, there's got to be a better way. And there was already a better way, which was, DocuSign and electronic signatures and the whole thing. But it was so interesting to so that was like my little... Like that was the one and only time I've ever done a carbon copy.
Do you remember from real estate school, like real estate college, learning how to write a condition?
Yes. And
so you had to learn about the 3 parts of it, and so that when you were sitting in the car with your client, with your carbon paper, you could make changes to your offer, and they would be valid at the lawyers. Right.
So we learned how to write a condition. And we did, that was our practice in class. Mm-hmm. But how to do it on carbon? Yeah, I don't know.
The carbon was multi-page.
Yeah.
So what you had to do was put something between it, so if you wrote through, it wouldn't go through to the other one.
Right.
And then if you needed to add pages, that's how you did it. And then you numbered the pages at the bottom yourself.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, that was not me for sure. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What else can you like take from that time to that would be like super interesting?
From when I first started, I think some of the first deals, I still find this so interesting, and I still have clients that tell me about it.
Yeah.
When you would be competing, when your clients would be having competing offers, and all of the realtors would have to be present.
Yeah.
So you were either showing up at the office or you're showing up outside the client's house, and that's how you knew. That's how, at least it was a huge marker as to how many offers there were.
Right.
Because there'd be 6 or 7 cars. Sometimes your clients would be in their car. Sometimes they'd be in your car.
Yeah.
So the street on offer day or offer night, or when this happened, there could be 30 cars on the street.
Right.
Or you could see 7 cars lined up, and each agent would come in one by one and present their offer, have their discussion, and you as the realtor had to kind of keep things timed because there's another offer, that process could take a long time.
Yeah.
But I remember that vividly.
I wonder what would happen if we brought that back. Like if we were just like, okay, like on our next listing, we, lower the price a little bit, get a good bidding war going, and be like, okay, everybody has to show up. I wonder how that would even work in today's.
It was interesting. So we did I did a live offer presentation. It sounds so funny when to even say it like that, like a live offer presentation.
Yeah, you're so old.
We did one a couple of years ago on a commercial building, and the agent, some came in, some chose to come in, some didn't. The ones that did come in did have an advantage.
Right.
My client was sitting there.
Yeah.
My client could ask questions of the agent. The agent responded. There was a dialogue going on. It bit that agent a little bit in the butt later on down the line.
Yeah.
Because they over promised and under delivered in a way. And we were able to use that as leverage down the line when they needed some exceptions taken. We were able to reference it because my client was in the room and he said, well, no, he said this.
Yeah.
Whereas between agents, if you're just sending in your offer, we're going to give each other a little bit of grace to some extent, right? Make some interpretations, but it goes back to even now when an agent sends you an offer and they haven't communicated with you at all in any way. It's just, here it is on paper, and you have no working relationship with them. You don't know each other like you and I do. Yep. It's hard to interpret those offers and to get the call after and be like, well, why didn't you call me and ask me this and do everything else? Like, well, you never indicated you wanted any of that.
Right. And I feel like those were skills that were taught back in the day. And I mean, like, I guess they're passed down to some extent now, but you really need to have a relationship more with the agents that used to do that could actually pass it down, which is why, I mean, I feel like a lot of the agents in the office lean on you because you have that, expertise. And even yesterday we did a training on how to do a CMA and how to do that. Like, so lots of agents, like we especially, are trying to get away from the automated, okay, 123 Main Street has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and is dated. And this is how much it's worth. Like, it goes so much deeper. And I feel like the skill base, instead of it being, numbers based and interpreted in different ways from, previous, and like the whole negotiation, when you sit down, okay, this is what you say and this is what you don't say. That has kind of gone out the window, and it's more now like, okay, who could market the best, who could dance the most in front of their houses or do the TikToks that kind of grab attention, which, I mean, the marketing part of that is extremely important as well. Yes. But the back end, expertise, I feel has fallen off, especially in the last 5 years throughout COVID. Like, that market, the hot market has been, it kind of it gave us grace as agents to be like, okay, anything in New Sudbury is going to be listed at $399, and then we're just going to let the buyers figure out how much they want to pay for it, which I think it has started to decrease a little bit with the slower market. It's still a good market, but it's interesting. What do you think? Agents from the past, especially like when our moms were in the business, like what was real estate like back then that you wish would come back now?
The negotiation.
Yeah.
I love the negotiation, the going back and forth.
Right.
Because you get to know, you actually are trying to make a meeting of the minds, and you end up having 2 parties I think are better aligned when an issue does come up later down the line. These deals are made. There's emotion. Someone's buying a house. It's a financial transaction. Someone's selling a home. It's an emotional transaction. Right. And when an issue comes up later, because the 2 sides haven't really had a dialogue, one just chose a number, one just gave their all, there's less grace. And so I think a negotiation helps both sides to see that we're both efforting here. We're both making an effort. Right. In that conversation yesterday about this what feels now like soft skill. Negotiation feels like a soft skill in real estate.
Yeah.
It is the skill.
Yeah.
It is the hard skill. Now it's marketing seems to be the hard skill.
Right.
If you can't get on TikTok or whatever, it's, what are you doing to sell your house? Marketing is for the agent.
Yeah.
You want the house out there and we want reach, but guess what? We all have every listing in Canada right here already. So.
And now you could talk to it and say, find me a 3-bedroom house 100%. In Sudbury, and I want it in a good school district.
Yes.
And it'll pop up.
Yes. But when your clients are looking and they want a specific area and they want a specific school district and their budget says one thing and their reality of the market says another, and you as the realtor sitting behind the negotiating table with the other agent trying to get the best deal for your clients but not push them out of their price, like all of that matters, because when they go to sell that house or buy their next house, they believe you're upfront with them and that you did have their best interest in mind. We have a fiduciary responsibility to do that. Yeah. So I miss the negotiation. I am so curious what agents, we have agents in our office and we have agents obviously in our market. The number of real estate agents that came to the business during COVID was really surprising to me, because we as realtors coming from the old school, it sounds so silly, but pre-COVID, had to learn how to be realtors in that market. Right. Because we had to wrap our heads around it. Right. We understood it was a supply and demand issue, right? Yeah. Interest rates were low, supply was low. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah. So we had to figure out a way or some dialogue and some understanding. These agents that came in during that time, they're having to rewire their brain. Right. That was a once in a lifetime market. Mm-hmm. God willing. Right. It was fast. It was heated. I feel pretty confident with my clients and what purchases they made and sales they made and things like that. But I just don't know to have started in that market. Yeah. The correction to what a real market is, what negotiation looks like, even holding off offers, that was a standard practice. We had done that before. Right. For different reasons. So now we heard some skepticism in our office about people holding off offers and just trying to drive up the price versus, well, no, there is an appropriate use of that tactic or that strategy, and just educating them on that. Yeah.
And I feel like, some of the agents in the office, one specifically, and you could, as soon as I say this, you'll know who it is, but they start panicking as soon as the house has been on the market for 14 days. Mm-hmm. Like how is it not sold? I don't know. Like they came in right mid-COVID, crazy. You had to hold off offers or it would sell too quickly. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like, what happens next? And the skill wasn't taught because it didn't need to be taught, especially during those times, of what happens, later in the listing. Right. And, we talk to them now, like when I started 12 years ago, 11 years ago, 12 years, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, you need to explain to your client, you have to set the expectations that, this house will be on the market. Chances are over a month. And especially like the average right now is 2 months. Right. So if it's not like, what are we going to do up until that 2 months? And like, if it sells before that, fantastic. And if it sells a little bit after that, we have to start changing some things.
Responding. Yeah. Yeah. We used to list properties with a plan, with a 3-month plan. Right. 21 days. I feel like pre-COVID, 21 days on average was the days on market. Yeah. We were already slipping into a buyer's market because there were seller restrictions coming from the lending side.
Yeah. The 2019 was a hot market for sure.
Yeah. So, and 21 days was the average days on market. So these and the agent you're talking about, but another one too had referenced, well, I'm crazy, but I like to give them the range and tell them we can do this and it'll sell in X amount of days or this time frame. I like to give them the value, and I like to do the undervalue strategy as well. And I think we both looked at them and was like, no, that's not crazy. That is how you prepare your listings. Right. That is how you prepare your sellers for the market.
This is totally normal.
Yeah, this is completely normal. Absolutely. Yeah. And even myself, I know that's true. Sellers' expectations are different.
Yeah, of course.
And that is a hard conversation to have. So if you don't have anything to reference from pre-COVID with confidence, that this too will be fine. The market's not going down. It's not going anywhere. It's not changing. That is, historic. Yep. But to never have lived through that. Yeah. And to feel like the market is down. Again, we're using words like down. The market's not down. Yeah. The market's not down.
Yeah. Not even close.
We still don't have enough inventory.
Right.
Our inventory has not, I don't know what the actual numbers are right now, but inventory has not rebounded to pre-COVID levels.
No, not even close.
Well, and interest rates are still really, really good.
Yep.
I just renewed this morning. That's what I was doing before I came here. I just signed my paperwork. Yeah, it's a different rate than it was 5 years ago, but it's still extremely competitive and very good.
Right. I had to do that last year for like our actual house. And I think I got a rate in COVID. It wasn't like a great COVID rate. Like some people that got like 1%. I think I was at 2.34, something like that. Now I'm at 4.14. So it's an extra couple $100 a month, but it's like not gonna, like it's not ridiculous.
No.
So I think there's a lot of fear out there. Like, okay, this is the year that all the mortgages are coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, but we also had stress tests when everybody was buying. Like, as long as you're not, leveraged to the max, like, can you afford a couple $100 extra a month? Chances are maybe.
The value of your home has gone up too.
Right.
So my COVID rate was under 2%.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I hung on until the last. Even my lawyer, we had to do it over Zoom because she's in Mexico. She's like, we couldn't do this last week. I was like, I wasn't doing this anytime early.
That's awesome.
I had that fear and that worry, and again, a lot of the rhetoric we're hearing is doom and gloom and worry because yes, our economy is tied to our neighbors and the global economy.
Right.
There are scary times out there for lots of markets. Even our neighbors to the south, our neighbors in Vancouver, their markets have had major change in flux. Real estate's local. It's hyper local. Yeah. And Sudbury's market is still doing well. We are affected by interest rates. Obviously that's national and that's affected by the US market as well. But overall, when you're doing the math on these things, still really, really affordable. There's more and more product coming out. I don't know about you. How many homes did you get? How many homes did your clients buy last year or got a deal? Had a house sitting on the market and they went in. It had been sitting on the market for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and we negotiated and they got a deal. Yeah. I was surprised. That's the first time since COVID that I've had that negotiation and that, okay, let's look at the numbers. Yeah. Let's do the CMA from the back end, as you say, right? Because that CMA isn't just for the seller, it's for your buyer too.
Yeah, exactly. And there was one, and I've talked about it before on the podcast, but there was one in New Sudbury last year, and it came out, I feel like it was like the New Sudbury week. I think there was like 8 new listings in New Sudbury, all the exact same, all like this, New Sudbury brick bungalow. Some were renovated, some weren't. And I was like, okay. So they kept sending me, okay, this one came up. I'm like, yes, I understand this. We're going to go see all of them. But 1 or 2 of them are going to slip through the cracks because there's going to be like the super shiny ones. And there were like, it was fully renovated. And so they went there and like, okay, what's this going to sell for? Okay, it's going to sell $150,000 over asking. Okay, that's, maybe we can try on this one. Yes. And then there was one that we saw that was unrenovated, but it had a huge yard, had a pool, had like all the things that they wanted. But the inside was, a little bit, needed some paint, needed some lipstick, stuff like that. And so we went after the nice shiny one. We got beat by a lot of money. And then I think later in the week, I circled back to the one, and they all, so the one point that I missed, they all had like either, like they were listed on a Wednesday, they had a Monday offer date or a Tuesday offer date. Okay. And so they, all of them came and went. And then Wednesday, I reached out to the agent that had the listing with the big yard. I said, what's going on with this? Oh, we didn't get any offers. So I called my clients right away and I'm like, we need just pay them exactly what they're asking for, because these houses that are comparable sold for $50,000 to $75,000 more than this one. Yes. So we're just going to take it. We're going to make it nice and easy for them. And they ended up buying it. They have lived in it for almost a year now. And like they have a ton of equity just on the purchase of it, just because, it wasn't as sparkly new as the other ones, but we went.
As the realtor that is your job.
Right.
That is the job of a real estate agent that has not, we played a different role for the last couple of years. And now we're back to doing what we've traditionally done, which is to look for those opportunities in the market. I had similar clients look at a property, neighborhood was spot on. You can't change location. You can't change location. It was over their budget. I did the CMA on it. I sold the one across the street. I was aware of what I thought it was worth. We went into it. I could see its unique features that maybe were turning some people away. Also that the original pricing strategy didn't work. So it created more days on market. And their budget was here. The home was listed here. It had been on the market X amount of days. We negotiated. They got it for what it was worth to them. They could not be happier.
Yeah.
And they have a little bit of money to improve it, do these things, but that they couldn't fathom, because they'd watched all their friends buy and sell houses in the last 5 years.
Right.
They could not fathom that we would be able to, number one, get it for anything.
Yep.
Number two, get it for what we got it for.
Yep.
And number three, it was still there.
Yeah.
Home inspection, everything. Something has to be wrong here.
Yeah.
And I said, no, it suits you. It fits you. And you've looked at, X amount of properties.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting, and I feel like the stigma is like coming off, but even on the seller side of it, it's like, okay, how many offers are we going to get when we list this? And it's like, okay, we don't need it isn't COVID anymore. Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, it's still a hot market. We could get multiple offers,
yes,
but we only need one.
Yes,
and that's especially in the COVID market, it was like, okay, my friend at work sold and they got 20 offers. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I want to beat 20 offers.
Yeah.
But it's like, it doesn't matter how many offers you get. Let's beat the price.
Yes.
Let's get you the most amount of money with the best terms, and we'll all be happy.
Which to facilitate that, you have to have X amount of buyers walk through the door.
Right.
So again, they want top dollar. So let's ask top dollar. Let's get top dollar. That isn't the strategy.
Yeah.
You have to place it within the market. You're just going back to you are for sale. You're not on sale. So let's make you appealing within the market. Put you on the right shelf of the grocery store.
You're for sale, not on sale.
That's
like
right.
That.
That's right. You could use that one. But that all of these traditional real estate conversations are coming back to the table, and everyone is having a bit of a time, I think, adjusting to it appropriately.
Right. Now, I mean, for the last little while, we've been talking about our experiences. I feel like I have more gray hair going just over the last 10 minutes. But I mean, you've been in the business for over 15 years now. Do you feel the experience at this stage? Like, do you advise clients differently, or do you have, based on your experience, do you advise clients differently, 10 years ago as to now?
Yeah. I don't think so. I am a fiscal conservative as it relates to real estate.
Right.
I always have been. I do not want to throw around anyone's money.
Right.
I do think we should be cautious and proceed with care and do our due diligence. So I think I'm advising them similarly.
Right.
I haven't changed my thinking about real estate. So I have to imagine my advice is the same. Probably what I'm more apt to do now is call it when I see it.
Right.
This is the house, and we will make an effort to get it. And you should max out your budget here. I'm probably more confident to lean in that way.
Yeah.
Again, a couple of clients this year, surprisingly, young couples that saved their money like diligently and had a budget, told me what they wanted. I showed them and I said, you are going to spend your budget.
Yeah.
Like you can afford it. You do want it.
Yeah.
I know you better now. I see how you live. Versus I had younger clients, and when I was new in my career, who would effort and go for it, and then it would fall apart in closing because it got cold feet because the price was too much, that sort of thing. So probably more confidence to say like, no, this is what you need, and this is what you're going to do, and you'll be happy with it. Trust me, and I'll demonstrate it to you. But I trust my gut more.
I mean, I like the experiences that we have when the buyers are like, okay, we're approved to $1 million, but there's no way we're spending that. Like, I want to be at like the $700,000 range, and I'm like, okay, first of all, awesome. That's fantastic. Still a super healthy budget, especially in Sudbury. Mm-hmm. But then that gives us also an opportunity to be like, okay, there's one at 750 or 8, and how they live. They're not going to show up the first day at the house with a brand new truck or something.
Right.
And like, okay, this is what we're shopping at, but there is this one. Leave it up to them.
Yes.
We can go see it, or we don't have to see it.
Yes.
But it's exactly what you're talking about.
That is the nice thing again about this market, everyone just slowing down a little bit.
Right.
Because then you're absolutely right. Here's the range. You are approved for a range. Everyone has their comfort where they want to be. I learn about you. Are you handy? Are you interested in doing updates and renovations? Oh, you do want the shiny thing. You are willing to sacrifice getting a new car because you want the renovated kitchen, because that's really where your heart is.
Yeah.
There's always a compromise in purchasing a home, always. And it can be within the actual physical structure of the house, or it can be within the structure of the deal and their own, like I say, you're not going to buy a new truck, or you're not going to go on vacation, or you're going to decide to go for your budget and live and move to the lake. Are you buying a boat? Do we need to account for that? Are you buying a boat? No, we like canoes. Okay, great. Canoes cost way less than boats, but what do we have to do in this house so that the lifestyle here works too for you later on down the line? There's just the budget's important. Right. It's so important, but to understand the whole budget is important.
Yeah. I totally get that. Okay. So obviously the last little while in real estate has been an emotional process. Obviously, when you're going out, putting in offers and getting beat by $100,000, how do you think, moving forward from this, do you think the emotion, like the emotions almost get pulled down a little bit, or do you still see like 2026 being, another, crazy bidding war, emotional year? Do you think it's going to kind of calm down a little bit?
The way my 2025 ended in 2026 is starting, we're still missing inventory, right? Which is driving the emotion on my buyer's side. Yeah. I'm a bit surprised. We were looking for, and I'm not looking for anything crazy or specific, but I am looking for something, something rural or something like there's one or two little factors, probably one for each one of these buyers that I'm having a hard time finding what they're looking for. I can feel their emotions. I can feel them feeling a little bit. And again, understanding the rhetoric from the last couple of years, I can feel their desperation, which is changing our approaches to offers. Right. But I don't know.
Yeah. I think so. I've had a few, and I've been reaching out because I think this is like a really good time to be buying a house, especially if you have like for the first timers or for the people that have an extremely saleable house. I think like right now, although it does suck to be out at -30 or -20 to be shopping for houses, I think this is a great time. And I felt I've kind of been feeling the same way, like the buyers that are like, it's not even emotion over the houses that we're going to see. It's more like, okay, like where is the house? And it's like it's obviously up to us to hunt for the houses because I told them it's a good time.
It's heartsick. They're heartsick. Where am I going to live? Yeah. Is this going to happen for me? Yeah. Yeah. And
so like they also don't want to rush into buying something, but they don't want to wait too long to get caught in the spring market.
Yes.
So it's like that's
You're
like
right. I do think though my experienced clients, my past clients who like over Christmas shoot me a quick text, hey, we just want to peek at this. Okay, yeah, we want to do it, and we did it. Yeah. Not a lot of emotion. It was about the math and the numbers because they know a couple of years ago with interest rates being what they were, like it is a business decision. Yeah. It's my younger, my less experienced buyers, my relocations too, the people coming into Sudbury who are less than impressed with the selection and what things are going for because they're just not, they're not fully aware of. They want a brick bungalow in New Sudbury. Right. Okay, well let's look out here. Let's look here. Get to know the city a little bit more. There's more options out there. There are, but people are less inclined to move locations within this market, right? Because they're just waiting for the right one to come up on the street or in the neighborhood,
right? And I think like, especially the way that the cycle and the markets kind of ebb and flow. I think we're coming into a bit of a slower. So I think 2026 is going to be a little bit slower than 2025 was. Do you agree or disagree with me? I agree. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. I'm happy. Pat myself on the back for that one.
I feel like there's just more caution in the air for sure. The one thing that's different in this market too, we talked yesterday, and I talk about this a lot, the baby boomer generation, right? Our parents are both of that generation, largest generation of home ownership in the world, but certainly in our market. Right. A lot of those homes are going to be coming to market. A lot of them are dated. Yep. A lot of them need work and investment. I feel like there are fewer of us, our generation or younger, who are capable and willing to do that kind of work and budget for it and, that sort of thing. I don't feel like we have a huge, I know there's a DIY culture, but there's flippers. Yeah. And then there's sort of everyone else that has to hire contractors.
I was going to say, I feel like there's a lot of people that think that they want HGTV, the process of it, of like doing the work. But once they start it, it's like, this is awful. Yeah. I don't want this.
Well, open a wall in a house. And if you're buying a house, even that, built in the 60s, renovated in the 80s, we were talking about this yesterday, right? We don't know what the 80s, the building codes, the electrical codes, all in the 80s were very different than now. Right. Everyone's Inco electrician, grandfather did the wiring, and you could power
I get a spool from the shop. Exactly. I'll bring it over after work.
Need a solid wood door with like bulletproof glass. Great. I got one in my basement. But it's a can of worms, and I think people are pretty scared of that too.
Yeah. And I mean, we have new development in the city, but I feel like, I mean, obviously the majority of it is like 60s, 70s.
Yep.
My house right now is 50s and doesn't feel that old. But yeah, there is a lot of that. We opened up, like we did the renovation in the kitchen that everybody does, take down the wall, make a big island, and like just taking down like the slats of drywall that like are double the size that they are now. Yeah. And then we bought, I went to Home Depot and bought a door just to replace one of my kids, like the bedroom doors. Yeah. And I'm like, it doesn't fit. Why doesn't it fit? Because the drywall is this thick compared to now it's this thick. Yeah. So yeah.
My house is built 1931 or 2.
Right.
So old. And I have amazing Pella wood framed windows from 1989. And you can see them a mile away and you know them. They're great windows, and they work until they don't. And they're wood framed, and so the cranks and everything are going. So I'm in the process of getting quotes to replace. All the windows are custom sized.
Custom.
All of them are custom sized.
Lovely.
Yep, because they're oversized windows in this 1930s house. And I was just like, and Pella back then was built for that sort of window too, and the way you built windows before and everything else. So everything is custom. And I was like, awesome. So it's just a little bit more, everything's a little bit more expensive. He's like, I also don't know what's going to happen with this wood frame when we take it off, because all that plaster is original. I was like, awesome.
Yeah, lovely. Feel free. Feel free. Yeah. Can I get a quote on that?
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's a lot of, I think there's going to be more caution in the market. I do think we're going to see more listings. As I say, that generation is turning over and things are changing. We're going to be seeing more of that, which is okay too. But then you are going to be looking at, potentially a fixer up here, potentially a fixer up there.
Right.
There's going to be opportunity in the market for people to do renovations and flips. I think we're all a little skeptical of flips, and rightfully so. But there are some really good solid homes out there.
Right.
Really good product out there. I think there will be more consideration when looking at them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to switch gears a little bit. When I first came to the business, I got recruited to sit on a committee at the real estate board. Yeah. And then the next year I was a director of the real estate board. Yes. And you were also on the board.
Yes.
So let's share, for those that don't know, obviously the Sudbury Real Estate Board governs, realtors in Sudbury, makes decisions on their behalf, sets up all the, tech that we use. Now there's also TREB. There used to be I think there used to be 28 or 30 different real estate boards across the province.
Yeah.
And now those are kind of getting eaten up and, amalgamated with each other. And then obviously TREB started their prop text, service, which is services that it would be our realtor.ca, the back end of it for the consumers. How do you feel? And we kind of talked about this just before we started filming about how it's changed from 5 or 6 years ago when we were in it. And Courtney and Tanya were the ones that actually developed Matrix in Sudbury and led that whole. I can't believe that was even a job that you could volunteer for, but I can't believe you guys were crazy enough to take that on. But I mean, the system ran well. What do you think is next for the future of, I would say, organized real estate?
I think more amalgamation is coming.
Right.
Our license allows us to trade anywhere in Ontario.
Yeah.
And, Sudbury agents and Sudbury buyers and sellers will know the experience of dealing with an agent who's from another board, Toronto, let's say, and they don't have access to information, or we can't trust their information because they haven't signed on to be a subscriber or something like that. Right. I've had agents call me, right? You list something and they're listing something down the street and they're calling you to ask you all your specs and they want all your information. And it's that's my research. You should be doing your own. So we can trade anywhere in Ontario. And is it wise to travel to a market you're not familiar with or you don't know? No.
Right.
But if that's what the licensing is allowing, then I think the system will likely eventually become one that supports it. So that I can look up information and a trusted real estate agent isn't just as important for the information that they have on their actual market, but also I'm able to look at some stats, talk to you about your property in Ottawa or in Toronto or in London or wherever you are, Bob Cajun and say, but you know what, I have a realtor there, so I'm going to do some research. I'm going to kind of talk you through what I'm seeing, but I have a realtor I'm going to refer you to.
Right.
I think that's really, really important and hopefully continues. But I think real estate is a cutthroat business at times between realtors, and a little more decorum and a little more systems, right? The Sudbury Real Estate Board used to be the one inputting and logging your listings.
Right.
So there was consistent information, accurate information. They used to control it with the MLS book and then through Matrix, and now we do a lot of self-load and everything else.
Should we bring back the MLS book? How do you feel about that? Is that a hot take?
That is a very hot take. It would be what size? The same size as the phone book now?
Sure.
Yeah. But I think that level of consistent information, which is what some of these other platforms are offering to do for a fee. Right. They're charging you, they're charging me, they're scraping listings, they're marketing to our clients, everything else.
Right.
But they're creating a cohesive and consistent system for the interface for the user, who the end user is actually a consumer, not us.
Right.
So I think we're headed in that direction. That is my assumption, but I do like the idea of consistency.
Yeah.
Real estate is like this. You got to respond. You've got to be on the ball. Things change, emotions come, everything else. I need the system to work and function. We developed Matrix more than 10 years ago, and it is out of date.
Right.
The system is, and the amount of work it would take to stay on that, on updating it for what our actual needs and wants are right now for the market as it's continuing to change, it is on a volunteer basis not practical, and with a product that will likely be sold and amalgamated with someone else. So I think there is more consistency coming, I hope, and probably a little more, as I say, I'm saying decorum, but I mean more like quality control with the information, the data.
No, that's fair. And I feel like you feel it out there, especially, I mean, I feel like we hold our office and ourselves to a different standard than most, but you feel the quality control, quality of the listings, especially even when you're flipping through, to be falling for sure.
Because it is the responsibility of the agent. That's it. That's the only check and balance is the agent.
Right.
We had a significant challenge even just trying to get things like PIN numbers, which are linked to databases which we rely upon.
Right.
And as realtors, they're built for that, for reliable information that your clients can rely on as well. And it's not an interpretation. And linking those systems, which is something that the one platform does offer. Just again, it eliminates the fact that I have to rely on you, Tyler Campbell, with 3 kids at home and, running a brokerage and doing everything that you're doing, that you didn't get that number wrong. I have to recheck all of your work, which it's my due diligence to look into the information and verify.
Right.
But there's other things going on that I should be spending my time doing.
Right.
Not checking your 7 digits on your PIN number.
Right. That's fair enough.
Because when there's an issue and it doesn't close, or there's a delay because there's one number wrong in your PIN, that's a problem. And that's human error.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't got this call, but I used to share an office with somebody that got the call, and it was just like, a couple weeks before closing, it's like it's the lawyer calling and saying like, oh, the legal description is wrong.
Yes.
Like you have your buyer purchasing the wrong property.
Yes.
Based on the legal description. Now, obviously, those are like incidentals and can be fixed semi easily.
Yeah.
But there are sometimes that they're a way longer process
in rural properties, and we're in Northern Ontario. This is as rural as you're going to get, if not further. But there are properties that are still there's an ongoing issue registered still in land registry. Right. Which, when that listing first came out years ago, the reason I was asking the agent about it is because I had a client interested in it, and it was like, we're out.
Yeah.
We can't trust the agent that he's giving us the accurate information. Looking into it on our own, we'd have to get a lawyer involved at the front end versus the back end. Right. The listing went up. It should never have been able to go up in the state that it was in at that time. Yeah. Right. So there's a lot of, as you say, these little technical things on the back end. Yeah. And when there's a problem, it costs money and delays and time. It does. It's not often that people get off scot-free when there's an issue that should have been avoided. But as I say, human nature, or due diligence, or what have you. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of a lightning round.
All right.
So it could be a small sentence or one word.
have a facial expression. Oh no, it's a podcast.
We could do it
on camera.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people are going to see this on YouTube. What is the most overrated real estate myth?
Oh, that your followers sell your house. That the realtor's followers are what are selling your house.
Fair. When I say the word real estate conferences, what emotion comes up for you? Besides sadness, because we don't go anymore. I don't go anymore.
I love a real estate conference because I love networking.
Right.
I love chatting with other agents, and especially the last one I went to, getting to meet the agents from Sudbury that I don't get to meet in person because we're doing everything electronically and on the phone.
Yep.
And we don't have education in person anymore or anything.
I like it. I like it. One lesson that you keep hearing no matter where you go in real estate based. One lesson that I keep hearing. I mean, my most recent reminder is you have to pay attention to the conversation that's happening in the showing, in the initial showing. Okay.
Because it's just pay attention. You've got your MLS sheet. You've got everything. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what they're talking about.
Yep.
Because the first issue they have when they walk in the door, if it's there, and I didn't catch it somehow, or I didn't address it, and it shows up again, I always feel like I have egg on my face, and I feel like I dropped the ball.
Right.
So just pay attention to that first conversation in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
It's mystical, but I understand it. I understand it. Okay, cool. Well, that's all I have. That was fun.
That's it.
That was fun. You're such a natural. I don't. We talked about this last time you were on, and like the camera shut off, the mics shut off, and we're like, how does Courtney not have a podcast? I think that might be like your 2026 goal to get some sort of podcast.
There are times that,
or are we just at a third chair?
I'm happy to stub in. I'm happy to come in, and as you say, I don't like a script. I like to freeform. I like to riff. Okay. I like to play devil's advocate. That's always, I say this in real estate too. If you love a house, it's my job to show you what's wrong with it. If you hate a house, it's my job to remind you why we're looking at it.
Right.
But I do enjoy talking real estate. That's the thing. And with people that I've worked with for so long, for sure. So,
well, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
Not as much punishment as we think.
Not at all.
Courtney will be back. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week.